playoff chances are over.
Well, the Wolverines have perfectly handled business for 6 weeks, but the committee needs to see them finally beat arch rivals. And I think this could be the week that happens. If it doesn't happen, like you said, the playoff hopes are over. And let's go out west. The West never gets any love from the committee. We've talked about it before. Washington, we've talked about Oregon. They're both 5-1. Washington State and Oregon in the Pac-12. The Pac-12 never gets any love from the committee. Oregon gets business done against the Huskies, and the Huskies again, they're going to not see any love by the committee as far as playoff goes. They'll get it in a bowl game, but at the same time, I think Oregon is really trying to be that representation from the Pac-12. But I still don't think that the Pac-12 is going to get any love from the committee, no matter what happens today.
Oregon's their only hope. If you think Oregon looks a lot more physical this year than what they have, everybody thinks of Oregon and the Chip Kelly offense. Let me give you a little history lesson on who Mario Cristobal is, because a lot of people have no idea who he is. Do you know who he is, Tom? Oregon's head coach. Have you ever heard of him before this season?
No, you're absolutely right. I hadn't.
All right. So Mario Cristobal was the head coach for Florida International for 6 years. And he got let go after his 6th season, and he became the offensive line coach at Alabama, where he was there for 4 years, Alabama's offensive line coach. When Willie Taggart took the head coaching job over at Oregon last year, Mario Cristobal went with him to be the offensive coordinator. And now Taggart's at Florida State. Cristobal gets the head coaching job at Oregon, and that is the reason why they look a lot more physical this year than what we've ever seen Oregon look, because he has an Alabama bloodline as their offensive line coach. So that's the history lesson of Mario Cristobal. He has carried that Alabama mentality basically up to Oregon, and it is working. It's working really good, and they should be undefeated. I mean, they had some bad breaks in that game against Stanford. They had Stanford down by almost 30 points, and a couple fumbles here, interception there. Stanford comes all the way back and wins that game late. But Oregon should not have lost that game. We should be talking about them being undefeated right now, and that is the Pac-12's only chance of getting into the playoffs.
It's not going to happen. That's my point. The Pac-12 is never going to get any love. Never going to get any love by the committee as long as we have a 4-team playoff. I know we've had the discussion about a 6 or 8-team playoffs, but as long as we have 4 teams, nobody from the Pac-12 is ever going to get in. That's just how it is. We just got to be the reality of that. They've got to understand that. Fans got to understand that. And we've frankly got to stop talking about the Pac-12 getting into the playoffs, because it's never going to happen. Anyway, it is what it is. But we talk about the other part of the fence, and we've talked about Ohio State. We'll move over to the Big Ten. They play Purdue today. They're on the road against Purdue. Obviously, Purdue is a lot worse than what we thought they were, but Ohio State's kind of where we thought they might be. We also kind of thought that this Urban Meyer controversy, scandal, if you will, at the beginning of the season would have been a distraction for Ohio State. Clearly has not. Rick, tonight, ABC, Ohio State, Purdue on the road, really close. I think, here's the thing. Purdue has lost, they're 3-3, so they've lost 3 games. They've won 3 games. But here's the deal. They've lost games very, very, very close. They very much easily could be a 6-0 team. Very close. To being a 6-0 team. That said, strength of schedule, Purdue. So if you have an undefeated Purdue, which you don't, so this is just a hypothetical scenario. If you have an undefeated Purdue and you have an undefeated Ohio State, at the end of the day, Ohio State is going to get into the playoffs. Again, going back to the strength of schedule. So I guess the Buckeyes could really use a dominant road win, since I'm guessing the committee will have questions about Ohio State's defense. But the playoff path is obvious either way here. But at the same time, this is going to be a good game to watch between Purdue and Ohio State.
I think it'll be a pretty good game for a while, but I think Ohio State just pulls away late. And just the outcome of this game, I think the final score will be, not really a blowout. The game's going to be a lot closer, really, than what the final score is going to indicate, because I just think Ohio State gets it done. And the story of Ohio State anymore, it's not the whole scandal at the beginning of the season with Urban Meyer. It's Nick Bosa leaving school and getting ready for the NFL, because he had the abdominal injury, needed surgery, and he made a decision to leave school because he's going to be a top 5 draft pick. So now he's just getting himself ready for the NFL draft. Without Nick Bosa, I don't think Ohio State's defense is a championship contender anymore. They're probably going to make the playoffs. They will make the playoffs if they go undefeated. But I think their national title hopes, with him just leaving and what he did for that defense, takes them out of any chance of winning a national title this year. I think Haskins, their quarterbacks, if it went for Tua, he'd be the Heisman front runner. I mean, they're one of the best passing offenses in the country, but they have underachieved in the running game, and now with Nick Bosa leaving, that defense took a huge hit now. I mean, he hasn't played since second game of the season or something like that anyway. But I just don't think they have the horsepower on defense anymore to actually be a national title contender. They'll make the playoffs if they win out, but with Bosa leaving, I think their title hopes just went away.
Which opens up a whole other can of worms about why he's leaving to go to the NFL, because he's not going to be good in the NFL. But that's just another hot take for another day at another time. We'll come back and say I told you.
Why do you think he's not going to be good in the NFL?
Because he can't stay healthy, Rick. He can't stay healthy. He can't not stay healthy. And what good does that do to an NFL team? I guess, let me word it this way. He'll be good enough to get on.
Then you're saying the same thing by Andrew Luck. You're saying Andrew Luck isn't any good now because he can't stay healthy.
But he was healthy in college. He was healthy in college, and he did not leave college early to go, and he was quarterback. There's a big difference between a defensive player and a quarterback.
I mean, if you want to compare players can't stay healthy, and that's the reason why they can or can't be good. We'll just look here. We'll just take a look right here in Indiana. We have one of those guys.
He'll get on an NFL team. We'll get on an NFL team, but there's no sense in him leaving college early to do that. I think he's better suited with Ohio State.
I think that's the right decision, honestly. I think it's exactly the right decision. That's a $25-30 million decision. He's going to be a top 5 player. Look, 3 years ago, Jalen Smith was going to probably be the number 1 pick that year and tore his ACL in the bowl game. And now it got picked up by the Cowboys in the second round. It's a $25-30 million decision. I think that is the correct decision. Get yourself right. Get yourself ready for the paycheck and your professional career. And I know the mindset is don't turn your back on your teammates in college. So I don't think he did at all. I think he loves the game. I think he loves his teammates. But at the same time, it's a $25-30 million decision, what he just did. It's a business decision, and I think it's the right one.
Well, I knew it couldn't last. We were getting along way too easy. We were agreeing way too easy. It just never lasts, like an old married couple. But what I am saying is this. Here's what I'm saying. You've talked oftentimes about the resume. It's not what you've done for me overall. It's what have you done for me lately. He's not played since game 2. If you're an NFL scout trying for an NFL player, don't you want to see them, even if you're not finishing college, don't you want to see them play healthy in your final year in college?
He's played 30 games for Ohio State, so there's more than enough film on him, and the scouts have seen everything they need to see with him. He's being compared against his brother, and a lot of these scouts are saying that he's actually a lot more athletic and better than his brother Joey Bosa, which is insane because he was wiped out in college. He's great in the NFL right now. They think Nick Bosa in this 30 games of film they have on him right now, are comparing him to that already. So they have enough game footage of him.
All right, well, we'll let it be at that because we're going to get into some other games here. Matt and I touched a little bit on this game, and that's number 9 Oklahoma 5-1 at TCU 3-3. Now, here's the thing: Oklahoma's playoffs Big 12 championship is not really out of the college playoff scenario yet. I really don't think that we're looking at Oklahoma into the playoff. The Sooners certainly could use some help, and that's with the win today. 2 straight losses is not going to help their case at all. And TCU, believe it or not, again, we look at the record and we think, well, maybe that's not the case against a 5-1 team. TCU, a 3-3 team, can beat a 5-1 Oklahoma State today. I mean, Oklahoma today at noon. I just look out for this game. This is one of those upsets, and we'll be talking. That's just one of our bloodline bets that we're going to talk about with Mo later. I would steer clear of this game as far as money wise and as far as covering the spread. And a loss here is just going to demolish the Sooners.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. Oklahoma doesn't play any defense, for one, so that's why this game's going to be close. And if you can contain Kyler Murray, and I think TCU kind of can, so this could go either way. I mean, what's the line? Do you have the line in front of you? What's the spread on this game?
I don't have it yet. I was going to pull it up when I have my one, so I really don't know. I'm sorry, sir.
Well, no worries. I think Oklahoma gets it done. But here's the thing. Right now, Notre Dame is ranked 4th, and that is the wild card. And this whole playoff picture for everybody, Notre Dame is the wild card because Notre Dame getting in the playoff is going to leave 2 conferences out, and it's going to be the Big 12 and the Pac-12. So no Oklahoma, no Oregon, 2 conferences being out because Notre Dame gets in. That's what we're really talking about, the playoffs right now. Notre Dame is going to be heavily favored in every game they have left. And teams like Oklahoma and Oregon, as long as Notre Dame stays undefeated, have no shot of getting in.
Let's go back out west. We've got Washington and Colorado, both. Washington, number 15, 5-2. Again, going back to that strength of schedule, Colorado not ranked, but they are 5-1. Again, we were talking about confident statements in the Pac-12. A win could be a good winner, but I like Colorado in this game. This is a good matchup. Colorado is a good team. They really are.
I like Colorado, too. They are a really good team. I'm about to hang up here in like 4 minutes because of the amount of times I have agreed with you today. I like Colorado, too, because I just think Washington got beat up so bad last week by Oregon that Washington is going to have a hangover this week. I think Colorado is going to sneak away with one here.
Well, we got a couple more games I wanted to talk about, certainly in the Big Ten. Let's move on over to Penn State. Penn State at IU, my Indiana Hoosiers. Penn State, obviously, 4-2, ranked number 18. Indiana, 4-3, not ranked. But Penn State can still claw its way back into the NY6 again. But remember what I said at the beginning of the season, that Indiana is still a good team, and they're getting better and better. And I know I'm an Indiana homer. I graduated from IU. There's no secrets there. There's no hidden cloths there. So obviously I'm going to be rooting for the Hoosiers here from the fan base. But also at the same time, I honestly, truly believe that Indiana can beat Penn State based on what they've shown us so far this year.
I think IU has enough talent to keep it close. But I think Penn State gets the win. I'm with you. It'd be great to see IU get a win against Penn State. IU's 2 wins away from being bowl eligible. And the games are dwindling down here, so they need to get a couple more wins somewhere. I like to see them get about 3 or 4 more wins. Actually, I don't think it'll happen today, but I do think they have enough talent to keep it close against Penn State.
Well, we saw what happened last week against Iowa, a total shellacking, if you will, and it was a very good reason why Iowa was ranked number 19.
Right.
They go against Maryland.
Well, that's why I just kind of lack confidence in IU, so that's why they have enough talent. They're talented to keep it close against Penn State, but they have games like they did against Iowa, and that's why I just kind of lack confidence.
Well, speaking of Big Ten teams with NY6 aspirations, I certainly think the Hawkeyes can get it done. They play Maryland today. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Maryland after that big win against Texas in Week 1, but I think Iowa's going to get it. They shouldn't have any problem with Maryland. I don't know what that says about Texas football, losing to Maryland 2 straight years, first game of the season. But those 2 programs, Texas and Maryland, kind of went the other way since that game. So I don't think Iowa has any problems at all today against Maryland.
Yeah, I don't think this. I mean, it's Maryland. Come on, you talk about some give me wins. It's Maryland. Come on. So we're waiting on Mo from the BS Sports Show to give us a call. Ricky can certainly hang around. We're just going to be talking some more NFL. Ed could not join us. He is in New York City. His son is actually running, I believe, in the New York City Marathon. He's also, I think he said it was his anniversary or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But he was unable to join us, so we're not really going to have an official NFL segment today. But what are your thoughts about your Lions coming off of a bye? They're starting to turn things up a few ticks.
Well, I was saying, when they beat Green Bay, I'm like, why are they